Holy, faithful, joyful and triumphant, coming to Bethlehem. Very holy, oh, the King of Ages. Oh, come let us adore him. Oh, come let us adore him. Oh, come let us adore him. In Christ the Lord.
Well, thank you, choir, and thank you, Barbara. It's a nice way to open this Advent week. Is it on? Is it on? Yes. No. We do this every week for your entertainment. How about now?
Yes.
Better? Okay.
Stay right on, please.
Okay. Okay, so welcome everybody. Here we are, the second week of Advent. It's such a special day. We have more and more of our family showing up every Sunday, and this just brings us such joy. So happy to see you, Ginny and Frank. Feels like full house today. And welcome to our listeners out there. We're so happy you're with us also. It's a way to join in the Christmas celebration without having to travel or leave your home. And whether you're far away or whether it's weather or your health, we do hope that you will be with us these weeks of Advent. We have some really special things coming up. For anyone in the room, please silence your phones if you have not already. And we have a daily word. Sometimes people call it word of the day, but don't go online and look for that because that's not what this is. It's the daily word by Unity. And today's word on December 4th is peace. Centered in God, I am a peaceful presence. Stepping away from the busyness of holiday preparations and the important work that must be completed before year's end, I continue my Advent journey by practicing peace in the present moment, wherever I am. I'm gracious with store clerks and servers in restaurants. I add positive, peaceful thoughts to conversations. When I'm traveling, I bless other drivers with whom I share the road and my fellow passengers on public transportation. Peace flows from that place in consciousness where God's presence fills my awareness. I need not find a quiet corner. When I'm willing, anywhere can be a peaceful sanctuary. The peace of God refreshes me and goes with me as I return to the activities of the day. Wherever I go, whatever I'm doing, I am a peaceful presence. And from Psalm 29:11, may the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. And we are blessed. We have a mission statement that our duty is to fulfill. And we're asking everyone to step up in this season and in the coming year to put feet to our faith, to put action to our prayers, and to fulfill these goals by serving others. Our mission statement is, we are a loving, nurturing community dedicated to being a positive path to spiritual living, to awaken oneness with God within us all. We recite the mission statement each week. I'm going to repeat it because Tom already wrote it, but as we close the year out and get set for the new year. So we should begin to reflect on what it will mean to us in the new year and what actionable things we can attach to it. And this bears repeating because we need to walk our talk so it becomes alive in our hearts. Inclusion and openness will be parts of Tom's theme for the year. And so alive in our hearts, that means every day, not just Sundays, or not just when we're feeling prayerful or grateful, but that's every day. Carry that in your heart and share it with everyone you meet. And that is how we can fulfill this mission. If you haven't already, please check out our website. Lots of stuff on there. You can see weekly announcements. All of the talks are archived there. So if you don't want to go on to Facebook or YouTube, you can see them there. And if there's something you want to look back and reflect on, you can go back and watch it again. Our donate button is there, of course, like all nonprofits. We use the app Tidely, and it's quick, it's easy, efficient, and it's been very reliable, I have to say, on both sides. When I donate and when we receive donations, it's been very reliable. If you'd rather write a check, we're okay with that. And our mailing address is Unity of the Seacoast. We're at the McConnell Center, Suite 246, 61 Locust Street in beautiful downtown Dover, New Hampshire, 03820. And just a reminder that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on Unity Facebook page is Charlie's meditation. Charlie, what's the title of it?
Praise and Thanksgiving.
Praise and Thanksgiving. Yeah, because Thanksgiving isn't just for one day a year. It should be every day.
Exactly.
Ginny knows that. We were just talking about it. So we also broadcast to YouTube on our own YouTube channel. And if you're familiar with YouTube, you can just go in and search Unity of Seacoast. But if you subscribe, it's going to be there in your subscriptions anyway. And also, if you hit notifications, then when we go live, that will automatically come up on the YouTube screen, and you can just tap that. So instead of looking for it, it'll be all set. And we have a lot of stuff archived on there. In fact, you can go way back to, gosh, I don't know, 15 years maybe? It's really, you can really go far back and see different reverends that have been here, different shows that have been here. It's kind of cool. We're planning our Christmas season. We will have an in-person service the Friday before Christmas at 7 p.m. And then, but that will be broadcast also, right, Tom?
Yes.
It'll be broadcast also, but we also will be able to come here.
It's a sing-along. It makes it more fun if everyone's here.
Right, sing along. You can sing at home too. And then we'll have a short talk. It'll be shorter than usual. And then Barbara's going to lead us in Christmas carols. Right, Barbara? She'll be well prepared. I was just saying, we've been doing this for 22 years. Yeah. And then on Christmas morning, we'll be broadcasting our Christmas message. And our guests again will be Reverend Russell Highland, Reverend Sandra Campbell, Faith Rivera, a Unity musician. And it'll be hosted again by me. This is our third year, so it's become a tradition for us. And we all really look forward to it. What a great team. What wonderful people. Then in January, we start some other very important ceremonies. Honestly, I'm not one for ceremonies much, but these really mean something to me. The week of January 1st, we have the White Stone ceremony. And I love the symbolism of just wiping the slate clean. Whatever was, gone. Oh, that's not what it says.
You may have someone who writes that.
Okay, so first we'll do the burning bowl. And that's very cool. That's where we sort of get rid of whatever we don't need or want from the past. And it's very cool. It's flash paper. You put it in a bowl and it turns magically to nothing. And we can do that in our hearts and our minds too. Just poof, get the negative stuff out. And then the next week, we have a clean slate because we've already done that, and we do the white stone ceremony, and it's really cool. You meditate. I've got a whole collection of them around the house, and do a meditation and just let it speak to you. What will be your word for this year? How will you fulfill your mission with that particular word, activity, thought? And Sue, who usually comes, Sue Robinson, is in rehab. She had a knee replacement, and we're really glad that she's part of our family, and she's doing very well, I'll have you know. She's pain-free as of yesterday, and I believe she's coming home tomorrow. Charlie and I have had the delight of taking care of her dog, Mango, that's like this big. She's the tiniest little thing I've ever seen, but she's very sweet and loving. And Brenda, we hope your birthday was wonderful.
Oh,
You have a happy birthday. Every day, celebrate all year. And then also Casey and Jasper, happy birthday. Lots of December birthdays. Everybody in my family has a birthday in December. Charlie's son, Charlie, his mom, my daughter. It's like my best friend, Fran. Every day we have cake. That's how I look at it anyway. And today at the end of fellowship, we're going to be decorating our church. We've already started. It looks lovely. And thank you, Tracy, for getting that together. That'll be really fun. So we also have another tradition, I guess you would say, namaste, which is a greeting that Charlie and I have had the pleasure of doing with people in many different Unity churches, and it's always the same because when you put your hands in prayer position and you look deep into someone's eyes and you see that Christ in them, you feel the same thing. So let's do that. And namaste to you.
Also do that.
Well, Tom, our comedian's in the back there, the crowd. And now we'll have the song from Barbara and the choir.
It's been a long road, get from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally near, and I can feel the change in the wind right now. Nothing's in my way, and they're not gonna hold me down no more. They're not gonna hold me down, 'cause I got faith of the heart. Gonna where my life will take me. I got faith to believe I can do anything. I got strength of the soul. 'Cause no one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star. I got faith. I got faith. Faith of the heart. It's been a long night trying to find my way. Been through the darkness. Now I finally had my day. and I will see my dream come alive at last. I will touch the sky, and they're not gonna hold me down no more. They're not gonna change my mind, 'cause I got faith of the heart. I'm gonna where my heart will take me. I got faith to believe I can do anything. I got strength of the soul. You know it's gonna bend and break me. I can reach any star. I got faith. I got faith. Faith of the heart. I've known the wind so cold, I've seen the darkest days. And now the winds I feel are only winds of change. I've been through the fire, and I've been through the rain, and I'll be fine. 'Cause I got faith of the heart. Going where the heart will take me. I got faith and to believe I can do anything. I got strength of the soul. There's no one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star. I got faith. I got faith. Faith of the heart. It's been a long road.
It's a great song. And Barbara, you do it so well.
Thank you.
She does so well. So now is the time we've all been waiting for. And Reverend Tom, I've been reading Steve Allen's book, and let me just say there's some similarities. Thomas Park comedian.
Glasses.
Yeah, yeah, the glasses and the arrow through your head.
Yeah.
That one always gets me. Gotta have faith with that. But Tom is a good friend. More than that, though, after all of this time, he's still a weekly or really daily inspiration to me, and that is that's saying a lot because I've been around for quite a while, and I've been around Unity for quite a while. And honestly, sometimes it can get stale, but not with you, Tom. You keep it fresh, and I appreciate that. So, Reverend Tom Schonberg.
Thank you. I get humbled every week when I come here by you guys. It touches me so much. You know, we talk about faith. I have faith that somehow I'm gonna get an unexpected smile. I knew I was getting an expected smile because I knew Lynn was doing her best to get here. She had been suffering from pneumonia and had not been feeling well. Just get me there. There we go. So I was happy to see her. But then Frank and Ginny, you walked in. Frank is one of my closest friends. We message several times throughout the week. We email. He's the one that prints up these motivational signs that I have in my office and that prayer book. And if he's reading a book, he'll send it to me. And it's always a book I need at the right moment. I'll be struggling for some kind of concept to work, and all of a sudden I go, oh, Frank got me a book. Let me look in there, and there it is. His prayer book that he made for me, I look at that at least 3-4 times a week. I've done prayers for here. And I became friends with the lady who wrote one of those because of your book. She's a minister in Lake Mary, Florida. So, folks, this stuff keeps happening. So I am humbled and thankful. Something we didn't mention, but I want to mention, Alicia. Those who can't sit here, I'm going to be really good. Look right there. Alicia has donated these to us to help raise money for our church. These are beautiful. We bought a few. I won't say who's getting for gifts, but someone's getting for gifts, and I have one as well. So they're over here. It's a little effort for you guys at home. So go to her site. Don't forget her. The reason she does this is because she loves us. Let's show her love back. What's your site name?
Alisas, ALISAS, True, TRUE, Colors, COLORS.com.
Alicia's True Colors. Elisa. I always say it wrong. Elisa's True Colors. And we will put it on the site, and we will make sure it gets in the comments today. But please do that. She's so wonderful. Everybody here is. So we're here today celebrating the Advent week of faith. And we're pretty good. We're all set. Who took the A? Wow. In theory, we were celebrating the week of hat, but I had to keep going back because they were missing the F and the I. So we have it. And I kept going back because I had hope that they would have faith. And here we go. Last week we lit the candle for hope. And this week we will do it for faith. Most churches choose a different order. Today would be peace, but faith resonated with me this week. Last week we looked at hope through the eyes of youth before they were jaded, from a time when our thoughts were uncorrupted by the things in life that could disappoint us. As we grow older, we know that these jaded moments happen, and life can alter our outlook. Peer pressure, comparisons creep in. Parents' hopes for us may turn into their expectations, and for some, even a stone-faced will. Careers may not have become what we had anticipated. Illness, depression, poverty. Anything can erode at who we are or who we think we are. Hope can fade when lower expectations work themselves into our consciousness. As a child, I learned faith, but it was not the faith that I can understand. I learned to have faith in the baby Jesus, and he died for our sins. But if I'm being honest with you, and completely honest, that concept did not help me much. It did not help me understand what sin is and how to avoid it. That concept just applied guilt. There was hope in the birth of Jesus, but in his infancy life, I just didn't see the faith. So where does faith come in? It's something that we acquire as we move through life. We see what works, we see what doesn't work. We see whom we can trust and who we don't trust. And even those that we are close with can let us down occasionally. They do it with the best intentions, and they do it with love. And some people just plain hurt us. So how do I tie this opening of faith into a talk, a faith that I didn't get when I was young? Because I look back at what works, what was given out of love. I don't look at the crucifixion. I look at the words of Jesus, the man. I have faith in what his words tell me about my life. Faith for Paul came from his vision of Jesus on the road to Damascus. His vision set the idea of who Jesus was, and for him, it worked out well. So well that his idea and concept of Jesus became the standard for the church. I'll do this all day. And this is the faith that people carry with them day to day. And that's reasonable because we look at faith in how we grew up and our connection. If we look at Jewish traditions this time of year, there's faith in their traditions. Hanukkah is really a festival of faith. The Epiphanies, I've been trying to say that all week. The Epiphanies conquered Israel in the 2nd century BCE, and they forbade the Israelites from practicing their religion. The Greeks entered the temple, and they spoiled all the oil. But eventually the Hasmoneans entered and overthrew them. And what was left was only a day's worth of oil to light the seal of the high priest, which had gone undisturbed by the Greeks. But that oil lasted for 8 days. And this isn't the only Hanukkah story. There's several out there, but this is the one that most people know. And that story celebrates faith in God, faith that God will provide. But the further we move away from these stories in those times, our faith evolves. Like I have faith when I turn on a light switch. During the pandemic, we have faith that we will find a cure. We have faith for life that will happen and restore and return to normal. Why? Because we have a track record of knowing these things happen. Because we've all gotten to this point. I've turned on a light switch 1,000 times to develop enough faith that when I go over there, that light switch is coming on. I've been involved in the medical community enough time to know that during the pandemic, someone out there is working hard to help save us. And I know that life will settle down and get back to normal. Some days it may seem like we've not gotten anywhere. It seems like life is hard. But it's in these moments that we look for practical faith. I have faith in a lot of what I read. I have faith when I pick up a book, there is a message or a wisdom trying to find its way to me. I know in my heart of hearts that every moment, every waking moment, there's something happen that will teach me wisdom. Even if that wisdom is, I won't do that again. But faith in Jesus is much more than that. It's more than faith in his birth. It's more than faith in his life's meaning after death. It's faith in the wisdom of his words at each moment. In his words. Once in a while. But it's faith in his words. That is getting loud. All right. This was a smooth talking home. I know in my heart of hearts that there's something in the moments that give me wisdom. Faith in Jesus is more than faith in his birth. It's more than what happens in his life after death. It's in his words. We learn to have faith in ourselves and trust in what we know. We rely on faith in ourselves every day. When Casey and I became parents, we didn't know what we were doing. I know I didn't have the best examples, but we had faith that we could do our best. We had faith in each other that our kids would turn out to be good people. When I began becoming a minister, I didn't know what I was doing, but I had faith that I would develop the skills to become a minister in a way that represents me. I have faith that you guys raise me each week. I have faith that Barbara's going to get the right song and it's just going to match up perfect. Now this season is about Jesus, and we're Unity Church. We're based on the words, the actions, and the teachings of Jesus. We look at the faith that Paul found in Jesus. I look at the faith that my grandmother had in Jesus. Many people this time of year will reflect on their faith as they see it, which is part of faith's purpose, because it's a hope fulfilled. We develop faith. It's faith from the scriptures being fulfilled, it's part of it. But for me, it's how we see God, Jesus' role in that, and his words. There are moments in our life when we all wonder where it came from. And we look at the Bible, we look at other sources of inspiration, and hopefully we pick up what we need to take it to the next step. Jesus' life was about several things. It was about the hypocrisy of the ruling class tied to social injustice. He wanted us to understand our relationship to God. He wanted us to be in the moment. And he wanted to teach us to live our lives to our highest self or our best self. Is there faith in pointing out hypocrisy? Maybe, but I'm not so sure. It's a necessity helping people live a life that is fair and just. And though the ideas strike a chord, it's hard to feel the injustice that he speaks of in his time when we're driving around in a nice, comfortable car, varied clothing styles, warm, instant entertainment. Maybe our biggest decision is, do you want Parmesan cheese with that? But many of the rules that Jesus talks about in Matthew 5 were geared toward his time. So he's pointing out hypocrisy, but the point of that is just so we notice it in our lives today. But it doesn't really develop our faith. Living in the moment may be the next step in faith, and working with God is part of it, but it's not all of it. The faith I find in him is not him saving us, but it is his faith in us saving ourselves. Jesus has faith in each one of us, and he tells us this in several ways. He uses examples that tell us to use what we know. How often do we struggle for an answer when facing something? Do we seek out another's opinion? Do we pay attention to the advice? Is it crafted for us? It may seem like it is, but then we get this ill-at-ease feeling listening to it. If I had heeded all the advice my parents had given me, I'd be an auto mechanic today, not living the life that I meant to. If I had heeded the advice my doctors had given me, I'd have been dead years ago. And I often felt lost, and I didn't know how to climb out of my situation. And I didn't know how to trust my thoughts. But these are the moments when Jesus expects us to use what we know first. And I think about that now and then. Even in the moments when I had faith or no faith in myself, he always had faith in me. And that's very powerful. Was he saying his words directly to me? No, not really. But the words are there for reflection for all of us. And so it is with me. That's what the Canaanite mother was trying to point out. If his words are within earshot, will they not nourish my life? That's not her quote, but that's her meaning. By having these words written down for each of us, they are within earshot and they nourish our life. Luke 13:24 is a great example of this. Strive to enter by the narrow door, for many, I tell you, will seek to enter and will not be able. It's not about what he adds to this phrase, it's about what is missing. He doesn't tell us what the narrow door or gate or anything looks like. He trusts that we know our path. We know what is the right path for us to take. If we don't go the way that has meaning to ourselves, we will not feel the effects of a fulfilled life. He never tells people what their demons are. No, because each person knows what they struggle with. He offers ways to cast out the demons. But again, he has faith in each one of us that we know what it takes. take the next step to heal ourselves. We've talked in the past that sin means to miss the mark, to do the things that go against our highest good, our highest nature. And so then sin no more means to stop doing those things that miss the mark and hoping we hit the mark. It's like the ancient definition of crazy. Jesus never tells people what their sin is because each person hits their own mark or strays from it. We know what we're aimed at. He has faith in us to recognize that we know what our highest self is, what it looks like, and how to achieve it. In the line, he who is without sin cast the first stone. He doesn't talk about the lady's sins who's getting stoned. And though he's saving her life, instead, he has enough faith in the people throwing the stones that they will recognize their sins, know what they were doing and who they are, set down the rocks and walk away. When he says, your sins are forgiven, he's talking about in the present moment. It's not your sins will be forgiven. It's very much in the now. And he doesn't list the sins. He doesn't need to. We know, we already know. This is a powerful statement because he tells us that we know our past. And we need not carry the weight of our past. We are burdenless in each new moment. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. This may be one of the most powerful types of examples of that. To me, this is amazing. Is it directed toward those crucifying him or those being crucified with him, those two criminals? But what he is saying is have faith. They will understand what they were doing, and he is releasing them of their burden. Love thy neighbor as thyself. He has faith in us to trust that we get the meaning of this. That if we love others, we can love ourselves. And if we love ourselves, we can love others in the same way. It's hard to hate ourselves while we're lifting and raising another. And he has faith that we understand this and that we get the cyclical meaning of this phrase. He has faith in people and us, even when he knows that we don't have faith in ourselves. Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not be anxious for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Let the day's own trouble be sufficient for the day. In other words, have faith in yourself for all the tomorrows. Whatever it brings, trust in the plan and get back to living in the moment. Does this one matter? Well, it matters to me. Last Sunday I got home. I got the message from my kidney doctor that my dialysis will start at the end of the month. The future of this kidney has come to an end. And I teared up like I am now. But I quickly realized that I could not live in that future moment. Because if I do, I skip over all the moments between then and now. I have shopping, I have writing, I have hugging. I have talks to prepare. I have the joy of the season. I've been preparing for this season to be in person with you for a year, to celebrate this season with you. So it's a simple choice. Do I live in the worrisome moment of a future date, or do I live in today, in each moment that brings me joy? So I devise a plan and I trust in the plan. My plan, you ask? Well, I just want to get 4 extra days out of that kidney, because if I get to 2023, that kidney will have been in me for 27 years. The average lifespan of a kidney in a person from a deceased person is 10 years. If I had been one of those to worry about the next tomorrow, I would have worried about 17 years instead of living those 17 years. I have 17 extra years of gratitude. I have 27 years of gratitude from that kidney. And I often say, better me than someone else when things happen. It's not that I want anything to happen to me, but I have faith that I will get the best out of whatever lands in my path. And I trust in this. And he trusts in us. He trusts in us to do what he does. And he tells us this, John 14:2. Truly I say to you, he who believes in me will do the works that I do, and greater works than these will he do. He believes and he expects that we can do this. Now, was he talking about exact things? Probably not. But he's talking about our ability to build a life meant for us, for the betterment of us and others and the world around us. Now, have we done the things that he's done and greater? You bet. I like thinking that we have. We don't notice it because our time changes and we don't see it in the way that we look back and he did things. We're not hands-on or laying hands on. But do we heal? Well, look at medical science. Jesus doesn't show us how to heal. He has faith that we will figure it out. We will use what we know. And as we understand science, technology, how the body works, we have used what we know and we have healed. We heal through nutrition, compassion, empathy. We heal in so many ways, not just doctors, but it's a well-placed word or a hug. It could be a well-placed intervention. If each of us didn't use what we knew amid the pandemic, imagine what it would be like today. Simple knowledge of wearing a mask, washing our hands, avoiding others. Jesus shared wisdom. He shared love. We do that as well and greater. We live in a time of written word. There was not the printing press when he was alive. And then the printing press in 1440. We were able to communicate faster. We've developed that till we can communicate in an instant around the globe. We can reach out across the globe and spread instant love. A video, a message, anything of wisdom, self-help. I can solve something on my car, record it, store it online for anyone else who has a similar problem. Folks, we are doing what he does and more. We each have that ability because he had faith in us, even when we did not. We do things in our ordinary life that would seem impossible in his day. Yet he had enough faith in us to tell us this, to use what we know. We live in a world of faith-filled miracles that happen all the time in every moment of our day. This is the faith that he gives, faith in ourselves. Not many people you will meet have that kind of faith for us. And yet he had it in us long before we were born. I'd like to take this to a meditation. I'll step away for a second.
I have faith. I pray faith. I choose faith. I am faith. I have faith. I pray faith. I choose faith. I am faith. I have hope. I pray hope. I choose hope. I am hope. I am hope. I pray hope. I choose hope. I am hope. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well. I have faith. I pray faith. I choose faith. I am faith. I have faith. I pray faith. I choose faith. I am faith.
Wow, can there be a more perfect song to start a meditation? Folks, when I tear up talking about my kidney, it's not that I have any fear of the future. It's the impact of the gift that was given to me by people in their darkest moment, offering up that organ to save my life. It's impacted my life every day. And I'm so thankful for it. And that's where the emotion comes. Hopefully, I've lived a life worthy of that gift. And it's just like a friend going away. It's the last part of this person that survived for all those years after their family gave that. So there's no fear. I'm perfectly comfortable in my health and my healing and my wholeness. But I do recognize the attachment to all the emotions that come with it. So I'm good. So I'm going to ask you to each take a deep breath, to find your comfortable position. Feet on the ground. Start your breathing pattern. And as we begin this meditation, we do this in the knowledge that there is one power, and one presence in the universe, one presence working through us. God the good and great omnipresence. We acknowledge our faith. From the moment that man first became aware, we've understood the objects of hope and faith in our lives. We have faith in our ability to rise. We have faith in the ability for spirit to rise within us. And at every moment, We have faith in our ability to love each other and ourselves. We have faith in our ability to take the next step. Just as the sun shines, just as we can feel warmth, we have faith in our ability to shine back, to show warmth to others. We have faith in our wholeness, in our health. We have faith in this season. Where we know that each day, although we always present our best selves, we can find a little more and share that with the world. And we have faith, knowing that we are loved, and we are loved. We are born from perfection into perfection, with love and wisdom, which is the image of God. Now I'd like to take our thoughts and bring them to the world around us, to those we know and those we do not know. If you're watching at home and you feel comfortable, type their name in the comment box. If that's not comfortable for you, then their initials, or a heart emoji, a prayer emoji, or a smile, just something. And for those here, if you're thinking of someone, say their name or their initials. And if not, just hold them in the forefront of your mind and heart. I think of my friend Marion Lee. I think of baby Jace. Sue, I think of you. And so many in our life and world. I think of our world, our planet, our universe. And I affirm we are whole, we are happy, we are healthy. And we are each other. So it is. Amen. I ask you to come back to me. If anyone would like to, there's a bag, our donations, we can do a prayer, tithes, and offering. And Bonnie, thank you. So, you want to?
As I walk down the road, a set of sun, the lambs are coming homeward one by one. I heard a sheep bell softly calling them along the little road to Bethlehem. Beside an open door as I drew nigh, I heard sweet Mary sing a lullaby. She sang about the lambs at close of day, and rocked her tiny king among the hay.
Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. And we are richly blessed. Ronnie, I want to thank you for going to that meeting on Thursday. I don't know if anyone noticed, but the basketball's a little bit left because they keep that door closed, and you said something.
Excellent, thank you.
To have a representative there, and you hear a lot about every tenant in the building who comes there. What they're doing and what's happening in there. And so it's really interesting. The only thing, no super salad. And then I says, I can see why, of course. Yeah, it was good.
No super salad? Oh, well, we might not go back.
No, you don't want that.
So if you guys would like to, we'll close the service with the prayer protection, then our closing song. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And we are richly blessed. Thank you.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, in oneness all are we. In love we walk with each other, in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, this truth is my joyous vow. To live each moment in love, each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun